Okay, class, we're about to start on problem number 2. Now, we had 3 and 2/5 plus 2 and 5/6. So we need to find the common denominator. So we will have 5 and 6. 6 breaks down to 2 times 3, and we know that 5 is already prime. So now, our prime factorization, we have nothing that matches here. So we will add 2 times 3 times 5, which gives us 30. So our common denominator here will be 30. Okay, now, again, to find the numerators, we would do this here. We would take the new denominator divided by the original denominator. And that gives us 6. 30 divided by 5 is 6. So we know we'll multiply this 2/5 by 6 over 6. 5 times 6 is 30. 2 times 6 is 12. Now, we go here. We take the new denominator divided by the original denominator. 30 divided by 6 is 5. So we'll multiply this numerator and denominator by 5 over 5. 6 times 5 is 30. 5 times 5 is 25. So now we will add 3 plus 2, which is 5. Our denominator will stay 30. And our numerator, 12 plus 35, is 37. Now we have a little issue here that we didn't have in the other problems. We have an improper fraction here. So this is what we would need to do. We need to go off to the side. We'll take 30 into 37. 30 goes into 37 once. And we have a remainder of 7. So now, this actually becomes 5 plus 1 and 7/30. Now, we will add the integers together. 5 plus 1 is 6, and we'll bring down our fraction. And that is our final answer. Now, we go down here to problem number 3. We need to find the common denominator. So we'll take the prime factorization of 15 and the prime factorization of 4. 15 breaks down to 3 times 5, and the factors of 4 is 2 times 2. Now if you notice here, we have no factors that match up, so we'll write them from smallest to greatest. And now we multiply. 2 times 2 is 4, times 3 is 12, plus 5 is 60. So our common denominators here is 60. Now we take the new denominator divided by the original denominator. 60 divided by 15 is 4. So we know we're going to multiply this 2 15s. I'm going to just write it up here so we'll have more room. We're going to take this 2 15s times 4 over 4. 15 times 4 is 60. 2 times 4 is 8. Now, we take the new denominator divided by the original. 60 divided by 4 is 15. So we can multiply this 3/4 by 15 over 15. 4 times 15 is 60. 3 times 15 is 45. Now, we add the integers. 8 plus 4 is 12. Our denominator of the fraction stays the same. And 8 plus 45 is actually 53. So our final answer here is 1253 over 60. Now we go here to number 4. We find the common denominator of 15 and 9. 15 prime factorization is 3 times 5, and 9's prime factorization is 3 times 3. Now we look here. They do have one set of 3's in common. This other 3 we bring down because it doesn't match up with anything else, and we bring down this 5. 3 times 3 is 9, times 5 is 45. So now, let me draw a little line here to separate problem 3 from 4. So we bring down our integer. Our denominator would be 45. Oh, and you know what? I did not even see this. We had this extra 4 here. But we don't have to worry about that 4. We just bring it down. Plus 5 and our common denominator here is still 45. So now we find our new numerators. We would take the new denominator divided by the old denominator, or original denominator. 45 divided by 15 is 3. So we know we're going to take this 2/15, and I'm going to write it over here. We'll take this 2/15 and multiply by 3 over 3, which is 6 over 45. So we will have a 6 for our numerator here. Now we take the new denominator divided by the original denominator. 45 divided by 9 is 5. So we'll multiply this numerator and denominator by 5. 2 times 5 is 10, and 9 times 5 is 45. So now we're going to add the integers. We add 8 plus 4 is 12, plus 5 is 17. Now our denominator stays 45 for the fraction, and 6 plus 10 is 16. And we're done with this problem here. Now, we scroll down here. We go to example set B. Now we look here, we're going to do subtraction. Now depending on what you like to do, it really doesn't matter the method. But what I'm going to do here, I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to do certain methods. I'm going to do one method some of the time and the other method the other of the time. So watch this. We'll make 15 3 times 5 with the prime factorization. And we know 5 is already prime. So we have nothing to match up with the 3, so we bring the 3 down. These 5's match up and you'll write it once, and it'll be 15 as your denominator. Okay, now we take the new denominator divided by the original. This is 1. So we know this 7/15 will be multiplied by 1 over 1. So 7 times 1 is 7, and 15 times 1 is 15. Now, we take the new denominator divided by the old denominator, and that gives us 3. So we multiply the numerator and denominator by 3. 5 times 3 is 15. 3 times 3 is 9. Let me make that 1 a little darker. Okay, now, if you notice here, this second fraction is larger than this first fraction. So what we could do here, we'll line this up. Well, we could leave this horizontal. We need to borrow 1 from this 9. So we know that will become 8. And we look at this denominator. This is really 8 and 15 over 15. So now we will have 8, 15 over 15, plus 7 over 15. Because we need to take care of this portion first. Now when we add those together, we'll have 8, 22 over 15, minus 5 and 9/15. 8 minus 5 is 3, 22 minus 9 is 13, and your denominator is 15. And that is your final answer. Now we come here. We have problem number 2. Now we're going to find the prime factorization of 9 and 18. 9 breaks down to 3 times 3. 18 is 2 times 9, then 3 times 3. Okay, so now we add 3 times 3. We add 2 times 3 times 3. Now we have nothing that matches up with the 2, so we bring the 2 down. We have 2 sets of 3's that match up. So we'll bring down 1 for the first set and another 3 for the second set. So our common denominator, or our LCD, is 18. So now, since our LCD is 18, we'll take 18 divided by the original denominator of the original fraction, which gives us 2. And then we'll take 18 divided by the original fraction, or the original denominator of the fraction, what will give us 1. So what we will have to do with this fraction is multiply this fraction by 2 over 2 and this fraction here by 1 over 1. So now we will have 29, 18 would be our denominator, and 14 would be our numerator, minus 13 18 is our denominator, and 5 is our numerator. And we bring over our subtraction sign. 14 minus 5 is 9 over 18. 29 minus 13 is 16. Now we know we're not done because 9 and 18 still have some common factors. So what we would do is we'll write our 16 and write the prime factorization of 9, which is 3 and 3, and the prime factorization of 18, which we have here, which is 2 times 3 times 3. So this will give us 16. These two sets of 3's will simplify out, and we'll have 1/2. So our final answer there is 16.5. Now we go down here to problem number 3. Now, problem number 3 is a little different from what we've had before. If you notice, this 25 does not have a fraction with it. So what we could do is this here. We could borrow 1 from this 25, and that would make it 24. We look at this denominator here in this fraction. So the one that we borrow from 25 will have the numerator and denominator the same as this denominator here. So then it'd be minus 10 and 2/9. Now, the reason why we did that is because you know with subtraction you must have the same denominator in order to subtract. So why not make the denominators the same from the outstart? 9/9 minus 2/9 is 7/9, and 24 minus 10 is 14. Now we go here to number 4. Now with number 4, I'm going to try it using the other method, where we first change these mixed numbers to improper fractions. So our denominator stays the same. Now we find our numerator. 5 times 7 is 35, plus 6 is 41. 2 times 14 is 28. 28 plus 13 is also 41. Now, this is what we need to do. We need to find the common denominator. So we add 7 and 14. 14 becomes 2 times 7. And what we have here, we have a 2 here. And we know that this 7 is already prime. So we bring down our 2, and we have one set of 7's that match. So our common denominator here is 14. So we know it's 14 for our denominator. Now we take the new denominator divided by the original. That gave us 2. So we multiply the numerator and denominator by 2, and that will give you 82 over 14. The second denominator, we'll take the new divided by the original. 14 divided by 14 is 1. So we multiply numerator and denominator by 1. And then, this 1. So we'll take 14 times 1 is 14. 41 times 1 is 41. Now 82 minus 41 is 41 over 14. Now we have to change this to a mixed number. So we could go off here to the side, and we could take 14 into 41. 14 goes into 41 2 times. 2 times 14 is 28, and that leaves you 13. So our remainder is 13. So now our final answer is 2. The denominator is 14, and your numerator is 13. And that is it for that problem. Okay, class, we're going to finish this up with section C. The first thing in this sentence, I want you to change division to addition of fractions. Okay, now we go down here to number 1. We had 2 rainbow trout weigh 2.5 pounds and 3 2/3 pounds. What is the total weight of the 2 trout? We know total weight means addition. So we're going to add these, and what we have here, we have our denominators of 2 and 3. We find our common denominator. 2 is prime and 3 is prime. So you multiply them together and you get 6. So you take this 6 and divide it by the original denominator. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 6 divided by 3 is 2. So our denominators are 6. So now we multiply this fraction by 3 over 3 and this fraction by 2 over 2. 1 times 3 is 3. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 2 is 4, and 3 times 2 is 6. So you got 2 and 3 6 plus 3 and 4 6.